Welcome back to the Love Club. Today we're going to talk about the concept of an overnight success. We often talk about overnight successes, but not often about what it takes to actually get there. And we're going to give some examples like Sabrina, Carpenter, Chappell, Roan, talk about their journey, and also go into why is such a life hack to embody the person that you want to become to help you get there. I think a lot of people think that people that have an overnight success, that it's literally overnight, that they haven't worked for it or that they just got lucky. And of course, some people do get lucky and it happens overnight, but those are very, very rare. And usually when you look at someone's backstory, you find that they worked for that specific thing for many, many years, and often even 10 years. And that is such a long time. And yeah, I think it just really speaks volumes about how important it is to embody the person that you want to become and to never give up, no matter like how long it takes. Like you are on, like falling in love with the journey, I think is so important. Like loving that, like it's going to take time for most people. It requires a lot of patience to get to where you want to go. And especially when you have big dreams. I think that is so important. I really feel like with Chappell, she's such a good example of this, I think. I listened to a podcast about her backstory and like her life. And it is so interesting because she was that kind of person that you really thought like in the beginning, like she just got to fame out of nowhere. Like she just came out of nowhere and it just exploded and like, she got so big and no one knew who she was. And then suddenly everyone knew who she was. And it is really interesting because she fought hard to get to become an artist, like a huge artist. Like she really worked for it. And it took her so many years. Like she started out playing piano when she was like around 10, I think. She was very young when she started singing and playing instruments. She even applied to American Idol and she didn't like succeed in that or didn't like have a career out of that. She actually has the same or had the same producer for her album as Olivia Rodrigo with Sour. And that album was huge. Like Olivia Rodrigo, when she dropped her album, that was a huge album. And the producer wanted to, like, was working with both of them, but he prioritized Olivia because her album got so big and like the hype. So she was kind of put on the back burner for a long time. And then when it was finally her turn, they made the album. And then when it was released, Pink Pony Club in 2020, and nothing really happened. Like it didn't become a huge hit. So that was like 5 years ago. I think it was last year she got kind of big. Like, I don't know, it was 4 or 5 years ago before like something actually happened. And that was because the pandemic hit exactly as she came out with her song. And it was like a party song about being in a club and you couldn't be at the club. So I think like she must have felt so unlucky with everything, and she moved back home. I think she even moved in with her parents, and she started taking like, I know that she worked as a barista for a while, like at a donut shop. She was a nanny just to like make ends meet. And you really don't see that part. You only see like the glamorous chaperone superstar that you see now. Like she has really worked her way to get there. And I also think like with her brand, that took her many years to just get that. She had a different name before, like Chaperone isn't her actual name. So she found a new name. She dyed her hair. Like she has this like red hair. She didn't have that. So much has happened in those like 10 years. That no one saw. And I really do think like people just see the success and then like, well, she's special. She's like, she was lucky. I don't know, make up like reasons other than just, she just didn't give up and she kept working on her craft. And like, and the thing is like, when she actually got there, like in the end, and now that she's really famous and everything, she was ready. It's like the universe prepares you in a way with all these like difficulties and challenges that she was facing. And in the end, like it really rewarded her. And I think now she's so ready for everything. And maybe if it happened earlier, she wouldn't have been.
Yes, exactly. I love that quote that you said recently as well. It takes 10 years to be an overnight success.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Someone pops up, just like Chappell Roan. Suddenly she was all over everyone's, Spotify lists and everything with the Pink Pony Club and with Hot to Go and all of her great
Yeah,
songs. And
exactly.
it feels like to us, it feels like she came out of nowhere. And
Yeah.
to her, it doesn't feel like that. To her,
No,
she's worked like half her life for this.
exactly. Yeah. I really think just 10 years is such a good, like, number of years to say, like 10 years. That's such a long time. And like, that's really what it can take sometimes. And just being, I think it's really good to like not, if you have a dream, like, why would you set like a 1 year limit on it? Like, if you have a
Yeah.
dream to achieve something, why would you be like, okay, I will give this 1 year and then I'll stop. Like,
Yeah.
why? Or like, if you have to, like, yeah, get an extra job, like a different job to just make ends meet, I understand that. But why would you give up? Like, you have your whole life and it's never too late. Like, I think just it can be hard for people to keep going during such a long period of time.
But it is. I mean, it's hard to have consistency for that long. I mean,
Yeah.
10 years of consistency, like that's a long time to have consistency because you're not always going to be motivated. So you're
Mm,
going to have to either be super consistent and have habits and systems in place, or you're going to have this big vision, like super clear vision of where you
yeah.
want to be, where you want to go. That, for example, Chappell Roan, for example, Sabrina Carpenter, I'm sure they had this big vision of this is exactly what I want to be, what I want to do, what I want to dedicate my life to. And I completely
Mm,
agree. Like, why would you set a timeline for something that's so important to you? So if
yeah.
you have something that's so
Exactly.
important to you, just keep working at it, keep working for
Mm,
it until it happens.
mm, exactly. Yeah, Sabrina Carpenter, that's another example. Like she started out, she was 10 and she was on Disney Channel when she was young. Like she's come a long way. But she's always been like famous, I would say, but not like as huge as she is now, clearly. And I think that's very related to her branding as well. Like her image has really, really changed the last like 2 years. And yeah, branding is something I find very interesting. But I just think like also she's been practicing like her craft for so long. So I think the branding was probably like her missing piece. Like she needed her specific branding for her artistry. But I think she's been working for this so long. And like her as a songwriter, she's very witty. And I think her songs are very funny. Like she is
I really like them as well.
yeah, I've listened to her music a lot, and those are like happy songs. They're like they're
Yes.
kind of funny. Like she's funny, and she has her own way of writing and like being. And I think that has like grown over time. She's found her voice. So I really think just yeah, embodying the person that you want to become and letting it take the time that it takes, like whatever it takes. Like you want to get there, so why would you stop at any time?
Completely agree. And I also like the thought of that if you've worked for something for a long time, then you're ready once you get there, once you are that success, then you're actually ready for it. You can handle it. You've
Yeah.
prepared for such a long time. And I think a really good example as well is lottery winners, because
Yeah.
so many people win the lottery, just burn through the money in like a year.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you've spent millions of dollars somehow
Exactly. Yeah.
because you weren't ready for it because you haven't worked to get money. You just happen to get a lot of money overnight, and then you
Mm.
don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, you don't have the money habits
No,
of someone that would have that amount of money. Yeah, I think that is very interesting as well. Um, so I do feel like I really do feel like the universe hands us things when we are ready for them, not when we feel ready, but when like the universe thinks that we are actually ready. And whether you believe in like the universe or not, I really think that um, things happen for a reason. We learn, we grow, and once we're ready, we get it. Like we get those things. So I think when it comes to like long-term success and like loving the journey and everything, I think that can be hard because we're very impatient overall. Like I can be very
yes,
impatient with most things. So, but I think really trying to fall in love with the journey, like loving that. Wow, you can look back even now, like 3 years ago, your
mm,
life is probably completely different. And you probably
yes,
have a lot of things that you wish that you have had back then. So I really do think that perspective is very powerful. Just seeing how far you've come in like 3 years. Imagine three more. If you stay on the same path. So I think just being aware that it can take a lot of time. And yeah, I think that keeping the vision is very important, like being very clear on what it is that you want and where you're going. Because then everything will align. Like your thoughts and your actions will align with what you wanted to do, like where you wanted to go. If you don't know where you're going, you will just not go in any, you will go forward, but maybe not in the way that you would have wanted to. So I
And not
think
as
getting very
fast.
clear. Yeah, exactly. Get there as fast. So I think just being very clear, um, yeah, about your long-term goals and then setting the right habits for them so you get there in the end.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect toolkit. Just remembering your vision, what you're working towards, what you want to have in life, what you want to be, and then basically also adapting your life to that, to the person that has what you want to have. Think about their habits, think about what they do, what they are like, and then just try to replicate that as much as you can.
Exactly. Yeah. And I also think it's really good to listen to these backstories, like the stories of different people. Like if there's someone you look up to, they probably have a very interesting backstory. Usually they really like worked for a long time for their life, like what they wanted to achieve. So I do think that's very inspiring as well. Hearing others' backstories.
I
Yeah.
agree. I think it's also something that you can really connect to because everyone's been a beginner at something.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, it's good to know and it's good to think about.
Exactly. Yeah, I really agree.
So, on consistency, I think that's also so important to keep in mind with everything that you do. It's like, for example, you and me today, we're not at our best. Like you're a bit tired and I had a stressful day of traveling yesterday and got home super late. I've had very little sleep. I didn't bounce out of bed. Neither of us bounced out of bed this
No.
morning thinking, oh, let's do a podcast. Woohoo. And I think that's also just important to keep your promises to yourself. Like we record on Sundays.
Yeah.
Like we do
Yeah,
that. That's what we do.
exactly.
We do it every Sunday.
Yeah.
Now I did
Mm.
ask you if we could do it a little bit later, so we didn't do it early in the
Yeah.
morning. So you can adapt it a little bit, but I think it's so important. Just keep your promises to yourself. Stick to your habits, your routines that you need to have to get where you want to go, and you will get there. Maybe it'll take 10 years, but you'll get there.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and I think that's very important as well to know that like not every day is gonna look 100% like you're not gonna do 100% every single day. Like it's like some days you're gonna be 80, some days you're gonna be 20, but always like moving forward and trying. I think that's the most important part. Like doing your best, moving forward and yeah, sticking to your habits. Like we have this habit now, like we
Mm.
always record on Sundays. And I think that was our mistake in the beginning as well, because we did have a bit of a break with the podcast. And I feel like now that we're back, I feel like we're so different in the way we show up.
Yeah.
And that is because we got so clear, like you and I, about this. Like, if we're gonna go and keep doing the podcast, we're gonna do it. Like, we're gonna stick to it, and we're gonna do it as good as we can. And I think consistency was our like main focus. Like, how do we make this consistent? And that was like, okay, let's create the right habits for this and a schedule that we can follow.
Yeah. That's how I feel. Like we were relying on motivation to start with,
Yeah.
and now
Mm,
we're relying on systems and like
yeah,
habits.
exactly.
And I
Yeah.
think that's the way to go because you're not always going to be motivated. You're going to have periods of long time when you're not motivated to do things, even if they're super important to you and they will help
Yeah.
you get to exactly where you want to go. But you're not always going to be motivated, and you're sometimes going to have to push yourself to do things,
Mm,
even though you don't feel like it.
yeah. And it's going to be easier if you already have a habit of doing them. Like
Yeah.
you said, like we record on Sundays. Like that's what we
Yes.
do.
It's a
And if you
non-negotiable.
have exactly, if you have that mindset, then it's so different from like I don't know. It's just very different from not having that structure. And also like I don't have to show up 100%. I just have to show up today. And probably like I don't even know if anyone even noticed that we were. not feeling 100% today.
No, exactly.
I don't think anyone like noticed. Maybe someone did, but like, yeah, we are here.
Yeah,
And we're
at
showing
least
up.
we've
And
done.
that's,
At least we're
yeah,
here. Exactly,
yeah.
and we're here doing our best, and that's
Mm,
the best that you can do.
exactly. That was an episode on overnight success and loving the journey and staying on your path when you have a dream and getting clear on your vision and your habits. So we hope that you enjoyed this episode, and don't forget to follow us on Spotify and also give us a review there. It would help us a lot. And we will see you in our next episode. Bye. How did that happen?
That was amazing timing.
Bye. I felt it like slipping out of my ear. I was like, I have to do the outro quick.
Yeah, that'd be a funny blooper, actually.